everyone, how's it going? The Fuzz is back. It's time for another Faeria video. And what good timing it is, because the big patch 0.9 is live today, and it brings with itself a whole lot of changes. I'm not going to cover all of them. I'm just going to leave the links in the description if you want to read more about this stuff. I'm mostly going to focus on what matters to me the most, Pandora, because that's my jam. That's how I roll. So, reading from here, we're finding out that Pandora is getting a major overhaul. That's pretty good. So first thing they're changing is the ranking system. They're kind of just going to do away with that. And they're going to replace it with something called Pandora points, which you get for, well, just, you know, for your runs. The better you run, the more points you get. And then at the end of the month, depending on how many points you get rewards. Unfortunately, that information is not live yet. From what I saw on Reddit, it's not going to be live till Friday. Oh well, but hey, rewards of any kind are very welcome. And hey, it's not like I needed another reason to play Pandora. Oh, I got another one. Good times. Anyways, this also means that when you match with someone, you're not gonna see how good they are. When I just did a practice run just a moment ago, I just saw the name of the person. There's no more rank or anything, so you don't know, okay, is this guy legend? Is this guy terrible? What do I expect? And I think that's good. The fact that you don't know how good your opponent is, and you just, I mean, that shouldn't matter to you. But I do like that. And, well, I don't know this for sure. I assume this means that matchmaking will not be based on ranked anymore. So, you know, if you're in God rank, you're not just going to be getting God rank players. You might just get whoever. And that's good because A, shorter queue times, B, you get to beat up on some noobs, right? Maybe. I don't know. But it's nice to get a break and play against somebody less experienced. It's not even because you just want to beat them up, but just because you don't want every single game to be against a top player. You do want to take a break. Anyways, moving on. The cost right here, the cost of a coin is now reduced to 200 gold from 250. Okay, that's good. Now the important part is right here. They have reduced the length of the Pandora run from 12 wins to 9 wins, which means that once you reach 9, that's the end. You get the maximum reward. There you go. Now the rewards are written right here. You see how many Pandora points you get. The battle chest is what they're calling packs now. I don't know, whatever. And gold. So if just look over here, if you get 0 wins, if you go 0-3, you know, you had the worst draft possible, the worst luck possible. You get 1 pack and 80 gold. Now, we know that a coin costs 200. So you've essentially paid 120 gold for a pack. That's not so bad, right? I mean, you don't feel too bad about it. It doesn't suck too bad. That's cool. Moving right along, you get same thing for 1 where you get 10 extra gold and then 10 more gold on top of that. So at 2 wins, you basically just bought a pack. Yeah, pretty much. Except you played 5 games without any reward. So it's technically worse, but hey. At 3 wins, you get 2 packs and 40 gold. So you basically paid 160 gold for 2 packs. You got a bit of a discount. That's cool. 4 wins, it's the same thing, but you get 30 more gold. At 5 wins, it's 30 more gold. At 6 wins, it starts to kick up a little bit. Okay, so at 5 wins, you just get 2 packs for 100 gold. 50 each. At 6 wins, you get 2 packs for 50 gold. That's pretty good. 7 wins, you basically just get 2 packs. You get the gold back that you put in, you just get 2 packs. Very nice. At 8 wins, you get 2 packs and 70 gold. And at 9 wins, you get 3 packs and 100 gold. As in, you profit 100 gold. So, you can actually generate gold if you do well enough. And, of course, a whole bunch of packs. That's also good. And you see for 9 wins, you get 46 points. It goes 1 point, 2 point, 4 points, 7, 11, 16. So the better you do, the more efficiently you'll be getting those points. I don't know what the rewards are going to be, but obviously you're going to want, if you want to accumulate a lot of points, you want to have good runs. Because then, you know, towards the end, you're getting like 6 and 7 points, or 8 points even, for a win, and not like 1 or 2. So it's going to be interesting to see how many points I can rack up in a month. I'm gonna try to go for 1,000 points, maybe more. Not this month, obviously, because we're already like like the 12th or something. Yeah, so it... But in November, definitely I'm going to try for at least 1,000 points and see what the reward is. Here they're talking about the seasonal rewards. We don't know what that is. Now the Phantom coins have been renamed to practice coins, and they took a bit of a hit. And by a bit, I mean a lot. So you still get one every day for free. And now they've been reduced further. It ends when you get 3 wins or 2 losses. So basically 4 games. And if you get 1 win, you get 10 gold. Yay. If you get 2 wins, you get 20 gold. If you get 3 wins, you get a third of a full Pandora coin. So 66 gold, I guess. But honestly, that kind of seems bad. I think I'd rather just like do like 2 quests and just play a normal Pandora run. Because even if it goes 0-3, you don't really lose out that much. But you know, playing 3, you know, getting 3 wins and then you just get a third of a coin doesn't really seem worth the effort. Oh well. Anyways, now we move on to the second part of the video, the balance changes. They changed up some cards, and that matters because, well, it's going to affect how Pandora plays. So we're just going to go over the non-treasure cards. The treasure cards are the ones that interest me the most. So what do we got? Hate Seed and Bomb Slinger have had their health cut by 1. Now, I don't play much Constructed, but I imagine Hate Seed is going to be a little bit worse. Probably still good. You know, a 4-4 versus a 4-5 does make a difference. As far as Pandora goes, Hate Seed's not necessarily something you go for. If you go full red, you might pick up a Hate Seed or 2 along the way, along with a lot of those higher attack than health creatures. So it'll affect you a little bit, but not in a significant degree. Bomb Slinger is now 4-1 instead of a 4-2. I mean, all that really means is that it'll now die to every creature and not most. You know, now it'll do the 4 damage, and then it can be traded with something like a Tiki Caretaker. You know, any 1/1 creature, and not just, you know, and not something bigger. It also means it dies to Falcon's Dive, but who runs that card anyways? And maybe like something like Ground Shaker. But overall, I don't think Bomb Slinger is affected a whole lot. It's still gonna be a solid card in Pandora. Krog, the big giant ogre dude, now discounts cards by 7 instead of 6. So just like the other ogre cards, like the Ogre Dance, which reduces the random cost by 7, now Krog basically does the same thing. In Pandora, this has basically no impact of any kind, because I don't think I've even seen a single Krog so far, and I can't imagine anyone actually drafting it, so it's not going to make any difference. Good luck, good job, Krog, you got buffed. Windfall is now 10 Faeria instead of 9, but gives you 13, so it still generates 3 Faeria, it just costs 1 more. It does mean it'll take a little bit more to actually get it going. Interestingly, Windfall is a card that I do see in Pandora more than I would think. I mean, it's common, that has an impact, but also I've run into players who had like 3 of them. That's really weird, but it makes some sense. I mean, it generates 3 Faeria in exchange for a card, but that's a good deal, because when you look at your power wheel, you can get an extra card or an extra Faeria. So 3 Faeria is better than 1 card, and if you're playing Windfalls, you can just pick more cards from the power wheel. So I still think it should be, the people who liked picking Windfall are going to still pick it. It's not really that much worse. I think this was made more for Constructed, but again, I'm not very experienced in Constructed. I'm a Pandora player, so, you know, take that with a grain of salt. 3 Wishes! Oh, what a fun card. It's now 3 Faeria instead of 2. I have never once seen 3 Wishes in Pandora. Maybe somebody has tried it, so even if it's 3 Faeria, even if it's 2 Faeria, even if it's 1 Faeria, you're not really going to pick it because, first of all, it's epic. So, how many 3 Wishes do you think you're going to get? And even if you get one, are you really going to go out of your way to try to play it? Maybe. It doesn't make any difference, really. But I'm sure this was made for constructed purposes, no doubt. Shaitan Vampire, the dude that when he deals damage to face, he heals you for that much, got an extra attack. That's pretty cool. In Pandora, Shaitan is kind of like a auto win in any face race because, well, you hit face for 5 and you heal for 5. And now he does more damage. That's pretty cool. You know, 6/6 for 6 Faeria is okay stats, and the effect is, you know, decent. Good for Shaitan Vampire. Ostrogoth, the dude that gets summoned from the Doom Gate of whatever the hell it's called, now has charge 13. 13 charge? 5 charge is enough to get across the entire field. I like the little comment. Oh, there's no comment here, but they had a comment underneath saying, now he's so fast, the board is too small for him. Ha 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 ha. Has no impact on Pandora whatsoever. But now, the treasures. The treasures are where it's going to get interesting. So first of all, right here, I'm hoping you can read it. If not, again, there's a link in the description if you're having trouble reading this. What's it called? The Hammer of Arrows, aka the hammer of returning to your face and dealing 3 damage every single fucking turn. That card has now been completely reworked. It now does 5 damage. Yeah, but it gets shuffled into your deck, not back into your hand. That sucks a lot because that means you probably won't see it again, most likely. 5 damage for 3 is, well, that's good. No, it's definitely good, but it's just, it's not on the same level as it was because the fact that it returned to your hand, it was like a win condition in any stalemate situation because you just start throwing hammers to the face, if nothing else. Now you can't do it. So, because when you pick treasures, you want something with big impact, I think Hammer's gonna go from like one of my top 5 favorites to like not even in the top 10. So, yeah. But I understand why they did it because it's a little bit lame to lose because your opponent just is throwing hammers at your face. I didn't necessarily think it was overpowered. It was just kind of lame. So, alright, fine. Rip in peace, Hammer. Dancing Blade, another rework. So, goes from 5 Faeria to 6. Boo. Goes from 4-9 to 0-6. Super boo. Wow. That sucks. The effect, however, this is where it gets interesting. So, its original effect was that at the start of your turn, it did 4 damage to everything around it. Now, it does 3 damage at the end of your turn. So the card is basically just completely different. You drop it down, it does the AoE 3 damage, and then later on, you can use it, maybe jump around. It is flying as well, to do more damage. So, it's just a different card. Previously, it was just a great beat stick, because 4-9 with jump for 5, that's pretty good. And it had that 4 damage AoE at the start of turn. Now it's worse, but it's also different in that it's like portable removal. It's like a mobile removal machine. It's interesting, but again, you're gonna want to pick higher impact cards. So I think Dancing Blade's gonna be somewhere in the middle of the pack of the treasures. Like, it's the kind of card you might consider if there aren't like better ones available for your treasures, but whatever. That's pretty funny though. Next up, Astral Weapon had its cost reduced to 14 from 16, and its stats reduced from 8-8 to 7-7. That's pretty good. That makes the card a lot better. Honestly, it doesn't really matter what the stats are. Like, if they made this 12 Faeria, but a 6-6, it would be better. If they made it a 10 Faeria, 5-5, it would be even better. If they made it a 4-4 for 8 Faeria, it would be even better. So you get the idea, right? It's you play this card for the ridiculous effect, for the meteor effect. The body is just nice to have. So the fact that it costs 2 less Faeria is actually a big deal, not just because it's cheaper, but 14 Faeria is something you can get within just 2 turns. You know, you don't draw the Astral Weapon, you get your 6 Faeria, then you can use the Power Wheel to get a 7th Faeria. And that's 7 Faeria. And that means next turn, you get another 6, and get another Faeria from the Power Wheel, and you can play the Astral Weapon with just 1 turn of waiting. So you can wait 1 turn and drop the weapon, which you could not do when it costs 16 Faeria. That's going to make the card quite a lot better. I never thought it was terrible, although I admit 16 Faeria is a bit rough. You do have to wait for it to activate it, and sometimes you can't wait. So it's a nice change. It does make it a lot better. And we'll see more Astral Weapons, which means if your opponent has 7 Faeria, you know, he didn't do anything for his turn, watch out for Astral Weapon. You never know. Void Guardian is now a 9-9 instead of 8-8. I played Void Guardian exactly once and lost that game because my entire deck disappeared. It's kind of like a desperation card. I mean, obviously a 9-9 for 0 is ridiculous tempo, But if you don't immediately win the game, you're going to lose really soon because you're going to start taking fatigue damage. 1 damage, then 2 damage, then 3 damage. You're going to be dead in like 4 or 5 turns, right? So, oh, and you're not getting any more cards. So if your hand is small and you get a Void Guardian and you play it, you have to win with what you have within like 5 turns. So I don't like the card at all. I think the risk is very high compared to the reward. And yeah, it's bigger now. If it was a 10-10, I'd think about it. If it could take half your HP in one hit, I might think about it, but it doesn't. So I still think it's kind of terrible, honestly. Bloodstone Golem. Now this was a card I very rarely see. Whoops, got a little carried away. So they just give him +1/1 in stats. It's a 3-mana 5/6. That's pretty good. And it still has the same effect, you know, it creates Faeria in the wells again, and when it's harvested, deal damage to your opponent. It's the kind of card I really don't know how to evaluate because it's weird. Like, it puts the Faerias back in the wells, which may be good for you, or it may be bad for you. And burns, I mean, it burns your opponent for damage. That's important. Now, you could just put it on the board and gather up some Faeria and do some damage. So, it has definitely some use, and of course, 5/6 for 3. Good stats. It's comparable to the Yak in terms of stat quality. Maybe a little worse, so maybe we'll see a little bit more of it. I've never been a big fan of Bloodstone Golem, though. Yakhorn Warnhorn, aka the not shitty... Oh, okay, well, better summon 3 Yak spell. So, it's now 6 Faeria instead of 7. I always thought this was one of the worst treasures, honestly, because it's just only a little better than the actual card, which is 9 Faeria, summon 3 2/2s. And a treasure is supposed to be ridiculous. So at 6 Faeria, yeah, it's actually not bad. The fact is you can draw it for 6 Faeria and play it, you know, right away without having to gather extra Faeria from your power wheel. Yeah, that's cool. I'm still not a big fan of it, but I think it raises it just kind of like above trash level. That's cool. Equinox Automaton has had its cost reduced from 8 to 6. I mean, that's good. I never thought the card was very good, but at 6 Faeria, that's actually not bad. It's probably only really good if you're playing like a red deck and you're trying to use it to burn your opponent. You play it, you gain 6 life, and then it's like a guaranteed 6 damage to their face that they cannot deal with unless they like frogify it or something. And if you are damaged, you know, it'll heal you, but you're going to have to take the damage back. So if you play it at full health, you're going to burn yourself as well. It's nice that they made it cheaper. I thought Equinox was one of the worst treasures beforehand. Now it's still not a favorite, but just like the Yakhorn Warhorn, it's more like in line with the other treasures, and you don't feel as bad picking it. And finally, Dark Crystal, one of my favorite treasures, probably in my top 3. Definitely my top 3. It's now 8 Faeria. It's understandable. The card was insane. I mean, it's a Firestorm. That's already 6 Faeria. That also draws 2 cards. That also firebombs your opponent's face. That also heals you for 4. The card does a lot of things. A lot of things. Even at 8 Faeria, I still think it's good. And it's still gonna be one of the better treasures, but I think it maybe goes from like top 3 to just good. And that's fine. Again, if they want to make all the treasures closer in power to each other, I'm completely okay with that. The only card I'm surprised wasn't hit was still the strongest treasure in the game, and of course that is Doom Scythe. It's unaffected, so Doom Scythe is still number 1. And it's actually by a bigger margin now that Dark Crystal is more expensive. Now, between Dark Crystal and Doom Scythe, I always thought Doom Scythe was better, but Dark Crystal was right there behind it. Now Doom Scythe is just the best. And with Hammer gone, yeah, Doom Scythe is just the supreme ruler of all. At least in my experience. Whenever I play and I get hit with a Doom Scythe, it hurts like hell. It's soul crushing. So kind of surprised. They could have at least made it like 6 Faeria, and I still think it'd still be good at 6. But anyways, that's it for the balance changes. Interesting. It's nice to see some of the treasures kind of brought to the same level. Should make for a wider variety of, you know, treasure cards you'll see. That's it for what I wanted to cover. Again, there's more stuff to read about, but I'm not gonna go over everything because it'd make the video too long, I think. And again, the links are in the description. You can just read it all, you know, whenever you want. It's a big patch, definitely a big one, and I'm definitely looking forward to finding out what those rewards are. And yeah, as soon it said Friday, right? So I'll be streaming Friday most likely, and I'll probably take the time to check out what those rewards are, what we're working towards, see what I get for 1,000 points. I want to get 1,000 points every month, which is, I think, pretty doable, honestly, unless I get a unlucky streak, but it should be pretty doable. Anyways, thanks for listening. I'll see you around, you know, whenever on stream, in another video, or just maybe whenever you're kicking my ass in the game. It's all good. Looking forward to the new Pandora experience. I think it'll be better. It was already good. Now it's just gonna be amazing. I'll see you next time.